Devin, what are we talking about today?
Batman.
Are we seriously talking about Batman?
Ninja Turtles.
I can talk about fucking Ninja Turtles all day.
I only said Ninja Turtles because you're wearing a Ninja Turtles shirt.
I'm not wearing a Marvel shirt. I'm slacking. I
am.
Slapped something on.
Got a Stan Lee shirt going on right here.
Oh shit! I should have worn my Stan Lee shirt. I have one.
Because I don't have any shirts on what we're talking about today, which is Black Widow.
Yeah, I don't have a Black Widow.
I tell people my sister moved out west. You're a science teacher. Your husband, he renovates houses. You're thinking about moving, but you're gonna wait until the interest rates go down.
That's not my story.
Let's get into this. No spoilers first, I guess. I mean, there's not a lot of spoilers for this.
We'll start off doing non-spoilers, and then we'll let you know when we do spoilers, and we'll spoil the poop out of it.
Spoil the poop out of a thing that didn't have a lot of spoilers in it to begin with.
Yeah, there's not honestly a whole lot to spoil. But
right. But we'll get into it. Wade, what are your thoughts?
If we're looking at this movie completely honest, if we're being completely honest,
why would we lie about this movie?
I don't know. I thought it was fine.
Thought it was fine.
I didn't think it was mind blowing. I've seen a lot of people out there like jerking this movie off like crazy. I don't think it deserves that. I don't think it was perfect. It definitely has some problems that we'll talk about, and some not annoying things, but just some things that's like, why didn't you do this? Like, it's just kind of like missed opportunity stuff. But I thought it was fine for what it was. I feel like it's totally too late. This movie feels so weird coming after Endgame. If this movie came out during the time that it's set, which is post Civil War, I feel like it would have had a bigger impact, especially with how the movie fucking ends. It would have had a bigger impact on, Infinity War and Endgame. It's just kind of weird now because we know what's going to happen to Natasha in the future. So there's no real tension with her ever. And it's just kind of like, all right, it's Black Widow doing Black Widow stuff. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I agree.
After seeing Thanos completely destroy the world, it's like it's nice to have a little smaller character story. That's fun. I like that. But it's just like, all right, cool. It's Black Widow.
This is gonna be the issue for Marvel going forward. It's like, how do you do these smaller character stuff after?
Well,
Endgame?
I mean, you can still do that because Falcon and Winter Soldier was a lot smaller scale.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They've already shown that they can do it. It's just seeing in the movies. Let's see if they can do it. So I don't know. Loki. I know you haven't watched a lot of Loki. Loki does feel a bit bigger than Falcon and Winter Soldier, but also kind of feels small. I don't know.
That one's like a mid,
it's like a mid. It's affecting other things where Falcon and Winter Soldier isn't really affecting a lot going on in the universe of Marvel, but Loki is. But it's also kind of like scaled back just a little bit. Like it's not like it's a Thanos level threat type thing. But I'm gonna take it one step further with your thing. I didn't think it was fine. I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great, but I think it was a little bit better than fine. Personally, for me, I thought it was good.
Okay,
it was at a good level. I liked a lot of the characters in it. I mean, I like Black Widow because we've already known who Black Widow is, but all the new characters that came in, Red Guardian, dope. Love Red Guardian. Not enough Red Guardian, in my opinion.
If we're talking about Red Guardian, honestly, I thought he was totally wasted, and I wanted to see so much more of him.
He was
not used properly at all.
But I liked what I saw so far. So I mean,
I like David Harbour, and he was fun, but
he could come back. You never know.
He will. We'll see more of him.
I thought Yelena was pretty dope. I liked her. Honestly,
I like Yelena. She was.
I thought I was gonna dislike her going into it, but I liked her after the movie. The mom I was kind of indifferent about. She didn't really do much for me. So
yeah, she's good. I like Rachel Weisz as an actress, and I thought she was solid in the movie. Her character wasn't given a whole lot to do. So she didn't really affect much and didn't really have much to do. So
and then Taskmaster, I thought was criminally underused.
Taskmaster was so lame in this movie. I was so disappointed with Taskmaster.
I'm hoping that I'm gonna wait, I guess, to say that could be a spoiler, I guess. But Taskmaster was criminally underused. in my opinion.
Totally was.
Could have been. I mean, we saw some okay stuff with him.
The first fight between Taskmaster and Black Widow, great. Everything after that with Taskmaster, I was like, why? Like, why did you like? What happened?
Like, it has some cool like shots, but then it's just like, okay, that was neat. But then like you don't like, follow up on it.
The problem with that though is that you have a character like Taskmaster whose entire like ability and an entire kind of power set is based off of mimicking other people's powers to a T. And nobody never like comes back in any kind of way. They don't like defeat him by like outsmarting him or anything like that. They just kind of beat him. And it's like, all right, like then why make him like, I know that's his stuff in the comics, but then it's like, why give him that in the first place?
And this was in a trailer, so it's not really a spoiler if you've seen the trailer. But when Taskmaster fights Red Guardian, I thought he was going to mention something like, oh, you fight like Captain America, and then Red Guardian just starts beating his ass or something. But no, that never happened either. Because he was using his shield and all that, and I thought Red Guardian would be like, oh, I know how to take out Captain America because I've done it before or whatever.
Well, if we're going to get into that, that's a bunch of bullshit.
It is.
He was clearly lying about that.
It is, but you could have played off of that, like, oh, he's been studying the film or whatever. Like he knows. He's a Captain America fanboy. He knows how to take him down or whatever. I don't know. I thought that was going to come into play, but it didn't. Like you said, it never really like comes back in the movie at all.
It's just kind of there's a one-off line about it, and then it's like, all right, cool.
And then the overarching villain is lame. Like he doesn't do nothing in the entire
thing. Big scary man in a suit.
Yeah, the classic trope of movie villains.
Like, all right.
And then like I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is spoilers or not, so I'm gonna wait. So I'm gonna wait to say this.
Well, it's probably spoilers.
It's probably spoilers. But overall, like I thought it was good. I know you had a problem with the CG. Let's go into that. How'd you feel with that?
I mean, it's not that I had a problem with it. I thought all of these CG set pieces were appropriate because it felt so weird seeing an MCU movie, especially after Phase 3 in the theater, that wasn't just a big fucking CG fest where like the world was ending and like there's like everything is CG. Like it felt weird. Like the movie started and I was like, oh, they're actually like filming on a like outside. They're not just like in a green screen room and then they mimic outside. It's like, no, they're actually outside and they're like, it felt weird.
They're in nature.
Yeah, they're in nature. They're actually filming outside on locations and stuff. And that was fun. And I enjoyed that. But that's kind of what made the CG feel out of place a lot of times. And there were moments where I noticed the CG looked like CG. It didn't really like.
Was the CG bad to you, in your opinion?
There was one part that I noticed where I was like, that looks really bad. But for the most part, it was noticeable, but it was fine. It didn't really take me out of it or anything. But that's every superhero movie now. Every superhero movie now, I'm like, oh, that's probably CG. Like it's kind of just.
I was going to say the CG should be flawless. They've had plenty of time to work on it because it's been delayed for I don't know.
Well, apparently the director said it's been done for like a year and they haven't touched
it. Still, I'm sure they worked on it a little bit further than what they were planning on, just because they had. I don't know. Time. But I thought the CG was fine, and like you said, it worked in the situations that it needed to. Did it need to have all that CG? I don't know.
It didn't need to. I think you definitely could have. You could have had maybe like one big CG heavy scene towards the end, like the big finale. They definitely use like when they're breaking Red Guardian out of prison. That's very heavily CG, and it's like you didn't really need that. You could have. It would have been kind of neat to see like a practical, like smaller kind of heist, like breakout scene with that, where it's just like we're in the prison, we just break them out and we fly away. Like that would have been fun. But it's Marvel and they gotta do everything big.
Gotta do everything.
But it was fine. I wasn't like rolling my eyes being like, look at all this CG shit.
Speaking of rolling your eyes, did you roll your eyes at anything else in this movie?
There was a couple like yes all women like moments where I was just like, all right, this is
I honestly didn't on the nose.
There wasn't a lot, and I was shocked at the fact that there wasn't like it didn't like beat you over the head with it like Wonder Woman or Captain Marvel or anything like that. But there was a couple moments and they were mostly towards the end and they were small. It didn't take away from the story really, because I was actually surprised that like they made Black Widow a flawed character, because in a lot of these female-led superhero movies, they're always like perfect and like there's nothing wrong or whatever. And we obviously know Black Widow because she's been around for a decade now. But they actually like double down on the fact that like, yeah, she's kind of a shitty person.
She's killed multiple people.
Yeah, she's done all these horrible things, and they play into that, which I enjoyed. They're all kind of shitty people in a way. So I mean, it wasn't too bad on the like the women stuff, but there was a couple.
I didn't notice any of it, honestly. Maybe I was just not paying attention or something, but
it's very small stuff. Like if you're not really like paying attention to it, it's just personal stuff that annoys me. It doesn't make a huge deal. I'm not like boycott Black Widow because women. Like I don't. It's not that big of a thing. But there were a couple moments where I was like, all right, whatever.
It felt like a normal superhero movie to me, and I really liked the beginning of it. Honestly, I don't know why.
The beginning was weird. The beginning threw me off guard because I was like, wait a minute, what is this?
Not that beginning. That's not the part I liked. Not that. I liked for some reason I was really into like the opening credits or whatever. I don't know why. I was digging that. Like with the pictures and like the song and the music or whatever. I don't know. I was just digging it.
Oh, so you mean the Marvel? Do you mean the Marvel or the open?
No,
the credits.
The opening credit. The opening credits.
That was okay. Like they had a weird cover. What was the song that they were singing? They had a weird cover of that song, and I was like, "This is a little weird. This isn't really needed."
It was that the little girl song, right? That they were playing in the car.
Oh, the American Pie or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I think it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
Either way, it was some weird cover, and I was like, "This isn't really working."
I thought it was. I liked it. I liked it personally.
That's fine.
You can poo on it all you want. I liked it.
I just think they needed to change the song. The opening credits is fine. The song was weird.
I like the song. Fight me. Anyways,
I will fight you.
Like really, we're going to tussle, fist fight this.
We're going to tussle.
We're going to tussle. We'll both lose. I think that's what would happen.
Probably.
Yeah, we both just die from exhaustion or something.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, back to Black Widow. There was a lot of Avengers talk in this, which
there was a little bit too much. It was like every scene somebody was like, "Oh, Captain America. Oh, you're an Avenger. Oh, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, "All right, we get it. Stop. Shut up." And as the movie goes on, they kind of stop doing that a little bit. But towards the beginning, it's definitely like, "Hey, this is an Avengers movie." It's like we get it. Everyone knows Black Widow is an Avenger.
Right.
Shut up.
If you haven't seen any of the Marvel movies, but you jump into this one, that's your own fault. Like,
I mean, you could. I do feel that this is a standalone kind of.
The end credit scene would be weird to you, but
I feel that that's most of them though, because usually an end credit scene is to introduce like something in the future, and if you don't know that, you're gonna be like, all right, whatever. Yeah. So I mean, nobody knew who the fuck Thanos was at the end of Avengers, so.
Only big nerds like Wade knew.
Yeah, like nerds. I was like, oh shit, it's Darkseid.
It's Darkseid. We're having a DC crossover, guys. What else? What else is there to talk? The music didn't blow me away or anything.
The music was very loud.
Every Marvel thing ever does not have good music. It's always just like fine. Everything.
Oh well, I think the Avengers movies do mostly just because it's Alan Silvestri and he's like.
But that's the only thing, and they use the same theme. It's just the Avengers.
They do. Endgame had a pretty solid score.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, most Marvel movies are kind of just whatever.
The first Captain America has a good score, but
I like the first Captain America score a lot.
But other than that, Loki has a pretty good score in my opinion.
I haven't heard it.
I know you haven't heard it, but it's on Spotify if you ever want to hear it. It's pretty good, I think. He's got a cool little theme going for him, a little theme song. But Black Widow, no, not much.
They didn't really give Black Widow a theme, which is weird.
It kind of almost didn't even feel like it was about her, which you could argue it isn't, because it's called Black Widow.
But see, this is the thing, though. This is why I'm saying like it would work if it came right after Civil War, because it kind of feels like an end to her story in a way. Like it's weird that this is coming after Endgame, because Endgame's the end of her story, but it's like this would have added so much more context to what happened in Endgame, and it's kind of setting up for like Yelena to be the next Black Widow or whatever. And it's definitely it's I wouldn't say it's an ensemble movie because Red Guardian and the mom character, whose name I don't know.
Isn't it Melina? Isn't that what it is?
I think so. Yeah, Melina. They're kind of, they're not really, they don't really do a whole lot. They kind of come in like the second and third act, and they're kind of background characters. It's mostly about Natasha and Yelena doing their thing, and it's kind of like a buddy spy movie in a way, which is fun.
It is. And I remember you saying on your little mini review that you did that you weren't into the action at all. I thought the action was pretty good.
That's not what I said.
You said it wasn't like outstanding. Is I think what you said.
I thought the action was serviceable. It wasn't. It didn't blow me away. It wasn't like any John Wick type shit. Well, and there was a couple of moments. But why not? This is like a Mission Impossible. I'm just saying it's not
rated R. I'm not expecting John Wick.
It doesn't need to be rated R to have cool John Wick-esque action scenes. Like there was a couple moments when Natasha and Yelena first meet and they have that fight. There was a couple moments where it's like they cut to a shot of them like in a doorway, and I'm like, that's the point where you just lock the camera down and just have one solid like minute shot of them just like doing choreography and fighting, but it's cutting like 15 times around the thing, and I'm like, I can't really like get a sense of the choreography or see the fucking fight because you're cutting every 15 seconds. But like just lock the camera down and just have them fight.
That's true. I'll give you that pointer. But in terms of comparing to other Marvel things, this was kind of brutal compared to other things. I felt like people stabbing each other, it's a lot darker than I expected it. Yeah, compared to other Marvel things, what I'm saying is the action was a little more brutal than you would see. I think they could have took it a step further, like you said, but I thought it was pretty decent for a Marvel thing. So I give it that props. Because when I watch a Thor movie, when they do the hits, I'm not like, ooh, that like hurt, you know.
Well, yeah, it definitely feels more real because it's all real people doing real
stuff. But in this, when I see the Black Widow get thrown into like a door or something, or get smashed in the face, I'm just like, oh, that probably hurt. That looked like it hurt. So, but I think, is that more choreography or is that more director in terms of the camera stuff?
Well, that's cinematographer and the director. The fight choreographer just sets up the fight. And it's like, here's
they don't have any input on like where the camera should be or anything.
I mean, I'm sure they have a little bit of input, just like, hey, if we film it this way, it'll probably come off better. Well, I mean, they would, because the cinematographer would have to talk to them to see like, all right, we're gonna frame it this way, so we have to choreograph it in a certain way. So they would have a little bit of input, but usually when a fight is edited to shit like that, where it's heavily edited and it's constantly cutting back and forth, that means the choreography isn't all that good and they're trying to like hide it a little bit.
I mean, it looked decent, so I don't know why they were editing it. Maybe in a standstill view it was like awful or something. I don't know.
But there were a couple of shots where it looked like they were just going to like block it, put it on a tripod and just let it play out, and then it cut away, and I was like, that could have been like, there's a shot like in the doorway, like you see through the doorway, and it was framed up like a John Wick type of shot where you just see them punch each other like in the doorway. And I was like, why didn't you just set it up like that?
I don't know. Go ask the cinematographer. I don't know.
I will. I'll tweet at them.
I don't even know who the cinematographer for this movie was.
I don't know. I'll look them up and I'll tweet at them angrily.
Okay. Tweet at them. I'm sure they don't get a lot of tweets at them, honestly.
I'm sure they don't give a fuck about my opinion.
Who's this nut job tweeting at me about this movie? He's probably like, look, I did this movie like 3 years ago. I don't even remember.
Yeah, I don't even remember what the fuck you're talking about, dude.
I moved on since then. Are you ready to get into spoilers, unless there's anything else I'm forgetting?
What are your final thoughts on the
final
before
thoughts?
We get into spoilers.
In terms of the greater MCU, like, it's not a necessary film you have to watch, I would say. Like, you don't need, like, because like you said, what happens in Endgame. It helps build on it. Going into that a little further, I'm going to ask you this question. If you were to show somebody the MCU and like they hadn't seen any movies, would you show them this after Civil War, or would you wait until after Endgame to show you?
Chronologically, yeah. If you're watching it chronologically, yeah. That would be the only way you really could, because you could show them in whatever fucking order you want.
I know, but for you, if you were showing somebody,
if I was showing, I would show them after Civil War, because it literally starts where Civil War ends.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like you'd have a better.
But would you like not show them the end credit scene type thing? Is that what you would do?
Well, I mean, you could say the same thing about Captain Marvel, because the
You
Captain
said
Marvel post-credit scene flashes forward to fucking Endgame. So it's like, if
Yeah.
you're showing them I'd probably just show them the movie. They probably wouldn't get the fucking after credit scene anyway.
Yeah, you can say the same about Ant-Man and Wasp too. That has the Endgame, that has the Infinity War snap, and that takes place before that anyway.
Yeah, so they jump all over the place with the post-credit scenes anyway. The post-credit scenes are mostly just there for fans. Like the movie's done when the credits roll, and then the post-credit scene is just like a little extra, like teasing the next thing or whatever.
I was looking up how many post-credit scenes there were when I was like waiting for the one at the end, and somebody said there were 2. I'm like, no, that one at the end isn't a post-credit scene. That is just the end of the movie. I don't feel like that's a post-credit scene.
Yeah, but everyone's saying that's a post-credit scene. It's not. It cuts to black and then it goes into that scene, but that's not really a post-credit scene.
Right. That's not. I feel like that's the end of the movie.
Playing. That's just the end of the film. That's like the epilogue almost.
Which I guess we can go into that if we're going into the spoilers. Did you want to talk about
spoilers? If you haven't seen Black Widow, go see it. Or if you just don't care about spoilers, stay here and listen to us bitch about spoilers.
You can watch it in the theater, or you can go on Disney Plus and watch it.
You can watch it at home in your pajamas.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess since we were talking about the post-credit scene, we can just start there. We can do whatever we want. It's our review.
We can do whatever the fuck we want.
We didn't see no Steve Rogers, but he was implied to be there,
which is good. I'm so glad, because Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. is listed in the cast still on Google. If you look up the Black Widow cast,
Google though. Anybody can go.
Yeah. But going in, everyone was like, "Oh, is Tony Stark going to show up? Is Steve Rogers going to show up?" And I'm like, "Fuck you! This is a Black Widow story. They don't need to show up. Have this just be about Black Widow." And I'm so glad that we didn't have like a surprise cameo from Chris Evans, or like Anthony Mackie showed up and was like, "Hey, I'm Falcon." Like, it's just have it be about Black Widow and tell this story, because it was a very personal story for Black Widow, and you didn't need anyone else in it. It's just like, this is Black Widow. And what she's doing is what we've known about her for the last decade in the MCU. Her taking down the Red Room, which is fucking cool. I didn't know that's what the movie was about. So when they were like, "Hey, we got to go find the Red Room," I'm like, "That's fucking cool."
What'd you think it was about?
I just thought it was like, "Hey, I'm Black Widow. I'm going on a mission. I'm doing some weird side mission."
We got some insight on Budapest or whatever it is.
Yeah, that joke needed to die.
I didn't get it because I don't know what it's actually pronounced. So
I don't care. It's Budapest. They kept saying Budapest like 15 times. I'm like, all right, we get it.
Right.
Stop it.
We showed some insight in that. I'm glad they didn't show like a flashback scene to show us that.
I thought they were going to. I thought they were like, "Oh, here's what happened in Budapest," and I'm like, we don't need to see that. The one-off line in Avengers, we don't need to fucking see that.
And we didn't. It was just it was naturally built in. I feel like so. Yeah. So there's that. What other spoiler things is there? Taskmaster. I guess we could talk about Taskmaster. Criminally wasted. How'd you feel about that reveal of it?
I thought it was kind of a stupid. Like, I don't care that Taskmaster's a girl. I fucking figured that, because I was like, who the fuck else could this be? It's not going to be anyone we've like seen already. And then when they talked about blowing up the little girl, I'm like, I bet that probably has something to do with Taskmaster. Like, she's like a cyborg or something, and she was put in like this robot body in its Taskmaster or whatever. It is a little weird that like you made her look like a man, because like, why not just put her in like a female looking armor?
Right.
Like, who gives a shit?
That's a little. The suit looked pretty good though.
The suit looked better than I remember it looking in the trailers. It still looks kind of like a Power Ranger suit a little bit.
Yeah, but it still looks decent. I thought
it looked fine. I thought it was fine.
I like the hood.
The hood was cool. I wish his face was more Scully, but I understand why they didn't do that.
Yeah, that scare little children.
I guess.
Do you think we'll see more of Taskmaster in the future?
Yes, I think they strategically kept Taskmaster alive to make them. Which kind of sucks, because I have a feeling that they're going to try to make Taskmaster like a good guy, which I know in the comics he's kind of like an anti-hero or whatever. But I think that villain, like him being a villain, where it's just like, how the fuck do we stop this guy? He studies all your moves and like all this stuff. Like, how the fuck are we going to stop that? I think that's cool. And I think we could have seen that here, and they just didn't do fucking anything with it. And I was like, all right.
I think he will come back, but I don't think it'll be that chick. I think it'll be somebody taking his suit. the chick's suit and just becoming.
Oh, so you think it'll be somebody else?
Yeah, that's what I think.
That's possible.
I don't see that chick wanting to be Taskmaster anymore. Like, oh, I've been mind controlled or whatever.
That's possible that she might become like another Black Widow, and then somebody else takes up the mantle of Taskmaster. Or whatever. Yeah. That's totally possible.
I could see that, but I have no idea what they want to do with that. I could see because going back to the post-credit thing, we got Valentine or whatever her name is, the Seinfeld chick.
Valentina Allegra Fontaine.
Yeah. We saw her, but she could recruit a new Taskmaster or whatever because she's recruiting a weird little ensemble. It seems like she's
by the way, that post-credit scene made no fucking sense.
How?
Because she shows up and she's like, hey, here's the man responsible for your sister's death. And I'm like, for one, Hawkeye wasn't responsible for her death. Also, how the fuck do you know this?
Were you there?
Were you like, because I'm sure like when all the Avengers died, I'm sure there was like a press conference that went out, but I don't think they would say like, oh yeah, she fucking jumped off a mountain to get an Infinity Stone. I think they were like, oh, she just died in battle, like whatever. So how the fuck does she know any of this?
Maybe Hawkeye said like, oh, I was there when she died, blah, blah, blah. And then she kind of twisted it and be like, look, he was there. He could have saved her or something. Maybe. I don't know. I feel like
that's very far-fetched.
I feel like this is playing, though, into the Hawkeye show for sure. I think this is what that's about. I think that Black Widow chick, Yelena, and the U.S. agent from Falcon and Winter Soldier, they're going to be a team with maybe like Red Hulk or whatever. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Maybe Taskmaster. I don't know. I don't see Black Widow teaming up with a Taskmaster type person. No, that'd be weird because she like almost died from him.
I don't know.
I don't know either. The evil henchman suit guy, he died, I think. Because he's blown up before, apparently, but he lived. A lot of people in this movie should have died.
Yeah, that's weird. He apparently lived through that explosion. That was a pretty big fucking explosion, and they never explained how he survived that. Right. And at first, I was like, "Oh, is this how they're gonna like introduce the life model decoys into the MCU or whatever?" Where it's like, "Oh, that turns out that wasn't him or whatever." But like, no, he's just I'm here again. It's like, all right,
I lived through that explosion somehow, and so did my daughter.
X-Men? Like,
so did my daughter. I thought we were going to see a hint at X-Men in this, but we didn't. I thought in the Russian prison we were going to see something.
That would have been cool.
Thought for sure. He broke that dude's arm. Red Guardian did. That was pretty dope. I like how that dude called him out on his bullshit, though.
Because I was thinking, I was like, when would any of this have happened? Like, that doesn't make any. I thought they were just like fucking with they were doing like a homecoming thing and just fucking with the timeline again. And then the dude immediately is like, yo, wasn't Captain America frozen until like 2012? Like, you're full of shit. Like, fuck off.
He's like, nah, man, we fought. And apparently David Harbour has said in interviews, like, no, we can fight. It's going to happen. I'm going to fight Captain America. I'm like, when?
He's going to fight Captain America. That doesn't mean Steve Rogers.
Oh, he would kick Falcon's ass. I'm just saying. We
don't know that. He got beat up by fucking Taskmaster, all right? I feel like Falcon could hold his own.
Taskmaster has studied the other Avengers.
Okay, but Red Guardian has super soldier serum. I feel like one punch to Taskmaster and she'd be down for the fucking count.
She's got armor. You know, armor could protect her.
I guess. Is it made of adamantium or whatever? Like,
it could be
one
vibranium.
Solid like punch to the tummy and she's dead.
Could be vibranium. You never know. You never know.
I don't know.
There was like was it a twist with the whole like, oh, like it's not the mom, it's Natasha or whatever at the end? It was a weird.
That was weird. I think it was supposed to be a twist, but I was like, for one, none of this makes sense because we see them when they flash back to them like talking about the plan or whatever. It's clear that like Rachel Weisz is like a little bit taller than Scarlett Johansson, so I'm like, that's a little weird. I understand it's movie logic, but that doesn't make any fucking sense. And also, it's like, why couldn't you have filled in the other people on the plan?
Right. You
like,
just
like
did
why
this
couldn't
plan.
you tell Yelena or I understand Red Guardian was like knocked the fuck out, but like you could have filled Yelena in before she got her fucking brain carved up, like
almost carved
up. And also they didn't fucking check her ass for weapons when they put her on that slab.
Right.
Because I remember when she said that, she was like, oh, you've got like a little knife in your belt. And I was like, you guys didn't check for weapons in case you find some kind of thing to like get out of? Like, you people are morons.
How'd you feel about the mind control thing? I feel like that was kind of stupid.
That kind of came out of nowhere because
Right.
there's one scene towards the beginning where like Yelena's like going to kill somebody and then some like perfume fucking blast in her face and she's like, "Oh shit, I didn't mean to do it." And I was like, "What is this?"
Yeah, I was like, "What?
What the fuck is going on?"
I was like, "Was she mind controlled or did she just get mind controlled? What just happened?"
Yeah, I was like, what is happening? They didn't really do a good job of setting it up.
No, and then I felt like it was kind of weird to just bring mind control into this out of nowhere. It was kind of like,
Yeah.
You could have just made the Black Widows evil. Like you could have just done that. I feel like you didn't have to use mind control, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess that adds an extra layer of like sympathy for them because it's like they're not actually like doing any of this; they're being mind controlled.
yeah, I guess, yeah. The pheromone thing didn't. That was weird to me. I didn't understand that at all.
Where she couldn't attack him without. Yeah, that was weird because I was like, and it was funny because like I was saying to myself, I was like, why can't you just like hold your breath and not smell them? And then like 20 seconds later, they explain that, and I'm like, that's fun that they explain that, but that's so stupid.
Well, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I understand what you're going for. Like, the smell makes you not want to do it, but that doesn't mean you like physically can't do it. You know what I mean? Like like when you smell something and it makes you feel sick or something, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to eat that. It makes me
Is that what it was? I thought it was like a program thing. That
no,
they had where it's like
just
physically like it shuts your body down from like doing it.
Maybe that's what it was, but I took it. They just said pheromones. So I was just like, so she just smells him and then can't kill him. Like, how does that work? I didn't understand.
It's very weird.
Because I was just like, you could still do things when you don't like if you smell some like raw meat and you're like, I'm not gonna eat that. It smells gross, but then you could still eat it. Like your body's not gonna stop you from eating it if you want to eat it. So
I don't know. I took it as like they physically like could
maybe
like their body was preventing them from like doing something.
Maybe
like
they did explain that and I missed it. That's a very good point.
I don't think they explained it. I think they were just like, oh, you can't do this. All right, cool.
Maybe. I don't know. They get right into this movie though. There's no like waiting to set this up. Like she's on like she's in that little trailer, and then like she comes out of the trailer, she's driving to go get gas or whatever, and then boom, Taskmaster just shows up out of nowhere. I thought that was
by the way, she should have fucking died.
There was a lot of moments in this movie where people should have died, but they didn't.
Because that was a full blown fucking rocket.
Right.
And it didn't like it wasn't like it kind of hit the car, it hit the car full on and fucking exploded. Like
and that car was off of the bridge. Like it wasn't like half on the bridge. No, it was like 9/10 off of the bridge.
Yeah, you'd be dead.
Dead. Or like,
I do like how we saw her just chilling in her trailer watching like James Bond or whatever. I was like, that's funny.
Yeah. And she had the blonde hair dye at the beginning, and I'm like, I thought this was gonna be like she did that for her sister, but I guess she was always planning to do the blonde hair dye thing for Infinity War.
No, because she was on the run, so I think she was trying to.
I know.
She was going to do that and before the shit happened.
I thought it was gonna lead to like, oh, I miss my sister. I'm gonna do my hair blonde or whatever. I don't know. Oh, she wore a vest, which she did. Which
it was a very weird connection from Endgame. It's like, all right, cool. That's where she got the vest from. Again, I think it would have had more of an impact if we saw this before Endgame, and it's like, oh, that's her sister's vest. That's to like remember her sister or whatever. Because they bring up the vest, and I was like, how is this going to come into play? Because they're focusing way too much on this goddamn vest. And then at the end, it's like, oh, she's just wearing it, and I'm like, okay, cool.
she's got the vest with pockets that they made a joke about too many times. One too many times with the pocket jokes. I feel like at least.
It was a little much, but I love that actress's delivery on all of her humor. Yelena's humor. I thought she fucking really nailed it because she was just deadpan the entire time. She's like, there's a lot of pockets. I like pockets. I was like, that's fucking hilarious.
Unless she was like, this is a crappy way to die or something like that. She's like,
this fucking sucks. Like, I hate this.
I really like the part where she did the little pose and she's like, oh, that's disgusting. I thought that was hilarious. I thought that was funny.
That was fun.
Maybe she's going to evolve into that in the future. I don't know. She's definitely coming back in the MCU, I feel like. 100%.
Yeah, they're definitely, they're not done with her. She's going to be back. She'll be the new Black Widow or whatever.
I feel like I'm missing something on spoilers, though. But maybe I'm not.
I really like the scene where they're all at the farmhouse, just like eating dinner and like talking shit or whatever. That reminded me a lot of Logan.
They're all bashing each other basically. Like, you're a bad parent, and they're like, you're a bad kid.
Yeah. Yeah, they're all just like shitting on each other. And then I really loved the scene between Yelena and Red Guardian. That was the only time Red Guardian was ever like taken seriously in the entire fucking movie. And I love scenes between like fathers and sons or fathers and daughters or whatever. And they had that moment when he starts singing that song and they just have like a little moment. I'm like, oh man, that's fucking great. And that's what I wanted from this movie. I wanted a smaller, like character driven thing. And I feel like for the most part, that's kind of what this was. It was.
I was gonna say, I feel like character focused. You got a lot of it. So
yeah,
but yeah, pretty good movie in my opinion, but not a great movie. Like you said, it has its flaws. What kind of flaws? Is there any flaws and spoilers that you wanted to mention? I know you said some.
I mean, with the whole women power stuff, I did notice that like the Red Guardian Taskmaster fight was that when the moment Rachel Weisz comes in to like save Red Guardian, I was like, that's a total like fuck you, like women, blah blah blah. Because Red Guardian the entire movie is treated like a joke. Nobody ever treats him seriously. They're always just like, oh, whatever, fuck you, you're an idiot. And then the one time that he could have, because you would think his character arc, and it kind of would have played into the joke a little bit more, where it's like he defeats Taskmaster, and then he's like, yo, I defeated Taskmaster, and everyone's like, all right, whatever. Like, and they don't believe it. Like, that could have played into that a little bit. But you would think his arc would be like, oh, he's kind of a joke, and no one takes him seriously, and he's full of shit. But then he actually defeats like the villain of the movie and he has like a solid fight. And he's like, oh, I can still be this hero that I once was. You would think that would be his arc, but he is just kind of a moron the whole movie. And then a woman has to come in and save him. And it's like, all right, like not just because this is a movie that stars a woman and is female focused doesn't mean all the male characters have to be villains and morons. Like that's not, you can have solid male characters as well.
That's true. I didn't even like think of that whenever I saw that scene, honestly. But I see where you're coming from. I agree though that Red Guardian was underused. I want more Red Guardian.
He was, and I hope he comes back.
Do you think we'll get like a prequel Red Guardian thing or not?
I don't think we need that. I don't want a whole movie of de-age David Harbour. I want current day like Red Guardian having to like prove himself again that he's not a fucking washed up idiot.
He's not a washed up idiot. I don't know where he would show up though.
Maybe he show up anywhere. Just make a Red Guardian movie.
They could make a Black Widow 2, I guess, with the Alana.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you think we'll get that? Do you think she's just gonna show up in other stuff?
I feel like we might get she might get her own movie. She might even get her own TV show. I don't know if they'll make her the next Black Widow or if they'll give her like her own thing. I think if they are gonna make her the next Black Widow, we might see a sequel to this starring her. And then you could bring back Red Guardian and Melina and stuff like that. But I don't know.
I don't know what the future holds for the MCU. It's kind of like in this weird like floaty area where it's like it could go any fucking direction they want it to go in. Like,
basically.
Go multiverse. You can go Skrulls, super soldiers, whatever you wanted to do. It seems to be like they're heavily focused on super soldiers, but then they kill them all off. So.
Yeah, I think is Red Guardian the only living super soldier?
Bucky.
And Bucky. So there's only two left.
I think they're the only two. Oh no, technically, U.S. Agent is a super soldier.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so there's three.
There's three. The trifecta going on.
The trinity of super soldiers.
And they're probably going to kill Red Guardian, I feel like.
That'd be, man, if they do that, like, I feel really bad for David Harbour because he's been in 3 different comic book movies and all 3 of them, he's just been treated like a fucking joke. And I'm just like, why? Like, I like David Harbour. Like, he's really cool and I want him to be like a legit superhero.
3?
Like,
what was the start?
He was in Suicide Squad for like a second.
Was he?
He was one of the people in suits that Amanda Waller was talking to and being like, oh, we got to have Harley Quinn. And he's like, oh, don't forget about the Joker's girlfriend. He's in it for like a second.
I didn't even
and then Hellboy, and then
Poor Hellboy.
Yeah, the travesty that is Hellboy.
Yeah. But overall, Wade, what's your closing thoughts on Black Widow?
I thought it was fine. It's a little unnecessary, especially coming off of something like Endgame. Only because we know Natasha's end, and I feel like if this movie came out before Infinity War and Endgame, it would have had her death in Endgame would have had so much more of an impact, because in this movie she actually kind of gets closure to her character. Like all of her, it goes back to that line in the first Avengers where she's like, I've got red in my ledger and I want to clear it out. She does that in this movie. She's kind of come to peace a little bit in this movie, where like that haunting thing of her like killing that little girl and like doing all the bad shit, that's kind of like closed, it's done, moved on. And then adding on her death to that is really like that would be a really impactful thing. And I just think that it's so weird that they just decided to put this off until after Endgame, because this was announced, I think, before Endgame, wasn't it?
Yes.
This was announced a long time ago.
Yeah, I think so. But they never
and
said
also,
like.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say they never said what it was gonna be about, but they're like, "Oh, we're doing a Black Widow movie." And
yeah.
Everybody was like, "Why?"
Yeah, everyone's like, "Why are you doing this after Endgame?" Like,
right.
But also, and there's one massive thing that I feel like somebody fucked up big time, because this would have been really cool, and again, kind of closure for her character. The entire throughout this movie, she's constantly saying, I don't know who my real mom is. I don't know who my real mom is. She even at one point asked the villain, what was my mom's real name? And she never finds out. And I thought it would have been kind of neat if in Endgame, when Red Skull, when she goes and meets Red Skull, if that's when she finds out her mom's name. And then that's, and like right before she dies. And that would have been like, oh, she got what she wanted. I feel like that would have been kind of a fun, like, character thing for her as well, but they didn't do that.
Was she buried next to her mom? I'm assuming. Is that what the end credit scene was implying?
I don't know.
Because he said,
why would that be her mom? Nobody knew who her mom was.
Well, the guy said like, oh, she was buried under this tree or whatever. I don't remember exactly what he said, but in the end credit scene, she was buried under a tree or whatever. So I was like, oh, maybe it's in the
exact tree.
It's in the unknown grave, but it's still next to her.
I mean, it's possible. I feel like it'd be a little weird, because it's like we tracked down this one tree that we think might have your mom buried in it somewhere, so we're gonna bury her there.
I don't know.
It's possible. I don't know. I think they were visually. I think that was meant to be kind of like a symbolism thing. I don't know if it's the exact same grave or whatever.
But yeah, I see what you're coming with the Endgame. I don't think they knew at the time though, or not Endgame. No, yeah, Endgame. Yeah. I don't think they knew at the time what was happening.
Probably not. But then it's like, don't have that be a thing in this movie, because it kind of feels like that's what they're like alluding to in Endgame, and then that's going to come back in Endgame. But they don't do that. I was like, all right, that's kind of lame.
He says daughter of Ivan, I think,
or
something, which is her dad. She doesn't give a shit about her dad.
She doesn't give a fuck. Which is like, all right, again, another women thing. Fuck men, whatever. And I was like, all right, whatever.
Her dad could be still alive. Maybe
he could be. We don't know.
Maybe he's a douche. We don't know.
Maybe he'll be in Black Widow too.
Maybe he's the president of Russia.
I mean, it's possible.
Could be.
They have prime ministers over there though, don't they?
I couldn't tell you. I don't know. The political standings of Russia at the moment. They change every 10 years. So
I mean, either way, they're a bunch of fucking losers over there anyway.
Wow, Wade's over here trying to start World War III on his own.
I don't give a shit.
Putin's gonna watch this and be like, "This American just called us losers."
I mean, Putin's a big fan of our channel.
Oh yeah, why is that?
I don't know. He just is.
Is it because we like make fun of people and he's like, yeah,
probably. And then now we made fun of him and he's like, nope, unsubscribe.
If you see one less subscriber after this video comes up, you'll know what.
It's Putin.
It's Putin. So yeah, that's the Black Widow review.
But what are your overall final thoughts?
It's a good movie. I think for people watching the MCU like a decade from now, they'll enjoy it more, like you said, because they can watch it in the correct order. But it's a good movie. I think it's serviceable for what it needed to be. I think they could have used some of the characters a little bit better, but other than that, I think it was a good movie. And it does feel like an ending to Black Widow's story, which I guess it kind of is, because Scarlett Johansson's not coming back as far as we know in the MCU, so it kind of is the ending of her story. But yeah, I liked it. person.
Where does this rank on your? Have you thought about it all? Where does this rank on your MCU list?
I was thinking about that. I couldn't tell you at this exact moment. I want to say top 15. It's top 15 for sure.
15.
But I don't know if it's top 10.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't put this in top 10.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be at like the bottom. It'd be like somewhere in the middle for me, where it's like it's good. I definitely I would never just pop in and just like watch this on like a Tuesday. But if I'm doing like a marathon, I'd be like, oh yeah, cool, I'll watch Black Widow. Cool.
The ones at the bottom of your list are, even if you're watching a marathon, you're like, I might skip this one.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm gonna skip. I don't need to watch Iron Man 2 again.
I don't need to watch Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I can. That's not even canon anymore.
It is though, because they're bringing Abomination back. Spoilers for the Shang-Chi trailer. He looks different. They brought back William Hurt in this, which we didn't talk about because he was barely in it.
Yeah, because he just shows up and he's like, "Oh, I'm William Hurt," and then they didn't do anything.
I thought they were going to do a post-credit scene with him, but they didn't. So
yeah, I thought that was going to be like, "Oh, he's setting up Red Hulk," and he's like, "Fine, I'll do it myself," and then he like gets all big and red.
He quotes Thanos. Fine, I'll do it myself.
Well, sure. He doesn't know Thanos said that, but sure, yeah. Fine, I'll fucking do it myself.
He just injects a thing into his arm and just becomes a Red Hulk.
He rips his shirt off and he's like starts getting all big and jacked.
I would have peed if I saw William Hurt rip his shirt off and then turn red. Oh man, would have peed everywhere, right then and there.
I mean, you shouldn't have been peeing in the theater. That's very rude.
I have uncontrollable urine. Wade, thanks for letting everybody know. But
you can obviously control it because you did urinate in the theater.
Yeah, because I didn't see William Hurt turn red and rip his shirt off.
So it's just you have uncontrollable urine just when you see William Hurt shirtless and buff.
Only when Hulk things happen. That's the only time. So like every time like Mark Ruffalo turns into Hulk, boom, it's peeing everywhere right there.
Oh my god.
Uncontrollable.
That's probably why they haven't made another Hulk movie.
Yeah, they got complaints last time.
They're like, yo, some fucking jackass just peed all over the theater. Can you guys just like put the Hulk in like very little?
Put him in limbo where he just kind of shows up in things, but never make another Hulk movie.
I gotta scrub down my whole fucking theater now.
You know I'm excited for She-Hulk though. I cannot wait. Pee.
You'll be pissing everywhere.
I'm gonna be sitting on the toilet.
But you'll be pissing in your home, so you have to clean it.
That's why I'm gonna be just sitting on the toilet because I'm watching on my phone.
Watching on your fucking phone.
Yeah, it's pee everywhere.
David Lynch would hate you.
I saw somebody say that Marvel's making Scorsese cry because they're bringing back the theaters after he said he was going to bring back the theaters or whatever. Was it Scorsese? No, it was Nolan.
No, he didn't.
Nolan
say that. Yeah, Nolan.
Nolan said that they're making him cry because he's bringing back the theaters single-handedly and he couldn't do it.
I don't think Nolan gives a flying fuck. I still think in his mind he's probably like, oh yeah, we're back theaters.
If anybody's a numbers person, by the way, Black Widow made about $140 million opening day, so that's not bad.
Yeah, which is nuts. That's pretty fucking cool.
Where only half of it came from theaters, though, the other half came from Disney Plus, which makes sense.
Either way, that's still cool that people are like, oh hey, a movie's out. I'm gonna go see it.
It's the first big one in a while. And it could be higher based on because Disney Plus has weird rating things. It takes a while for them to get their ratings. So I think it's as of right now like 12th in the MCU ranking on opening days, which isn't bad.
That's fine. That makes sense for what this movie is.
Right. So
did they think that this movie's going to come out and make $4 billion? Like
no. But will it make any money being how much it was delayed? I don't know. I don't know how much they need.
I think it'll make enough. Because I think the budget was $200 million, which is insane. But
probably a lot of that went to just Scarlett Johansson. I'm sure she's making buku bucks by this point
probably.
In Marvel.
I feel like $100 million of that went to her.
Probably. She's living La Vida Loca.
And it's
crazy.
It's hilarious that like she finally gets to act in an MCU movie.
Yeah, in her last one.
Because normally she's just like, oh, I'm Black Widow and I'm hot and blah blah blah. But in this, she's actually like, oh, Black Widow's actually like kind of a 3-dimensional character.
Endgame, she got some love. I feel like she got some love in Endgame too.
A little bit.
So, yeah. But oh gosh, I was gonna say something. I forgot. Anyways, I don't remember what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something. I can't remember. That's the Black Widow review. Just ended there. Just ended on me saying I can't remember. And then
on your dementia.
Here's what's gonna happen.
Natasha, don't slouch.
I'm not slouching.
You're going to get a back hunch.
Listen to your mother.
Oh my God, this.
Up.
All right, enough. All of you.
I didn't say anything. That's not fair.